From unconventional behaviour...
You always film me.
I mean, she really has been around the block a few times.
...to unintentional flashing. We've got stars in trouble with the law.
And it was a fair old whack.
I'm ashamed of that.
Everything's fine until you get found out.
This is really harassment. Can you please leave me alone?
So much around that goes on.
And celebrities with too much love to go around.
Who the are you?
I sat there with my mouth open.
I have sinned big.
This is a mess.
Good evening, and welcome to 20 to 1 Celebrities Exposed, our adults-only look into the world of fame and the celebrities who show us parts of themselves they'd rather we didn't see. Being famous means the eyes of the world are on you 24 hours a day, every day of the year. And that means keeping your pants zipped, your mind out of the gutter, and as one Aussie would-be champion discovered, keeping your hands to yourself.
Controversial swimmer Nick Darcy has pleaded guilty to assaulting fellow swimmer Simon Cowley. Darcy faces a maximum of 10 years in jail.
Exposing his inner turmoil at number 20, Nick Darcy's Olympic dream turned into a nightmare following an altercation with Commonwealth Games swimming champion Simon Cowley.
Punching another competitor in the face over a few drinks is just dirty.
Simon said, "Pull your head in." Nick thought he said, "Push my head in."
The surgeons had to pull his upper jaw forward, and he's now wearing metal arches on his teeth and can eat only through a straw.
It was a fair old whack. They're still picking up bits of skull from the wall behind.
Bad boys, what you gonna do?
The incident came just hours after Darcy had been selected in the 2008 Beijing Olympic team.
Just wanted to make the team, really. Something I dreamed about, but I had no idea it'd come to fruition.
This is a perfect example of how one drunken moment can alter the course of one's life.
Despite maintaining his innocence, Darcy was dropped from the swimming team by the Australian Olympic Committee.
Obviously, I'm very disappointed by today's decision.
I think that it was a really important decision and a really good decision that was made.
Oh, that was a tough one, the poor bugger. It was one of those situations where we felt that we had to teach him a lesson. He's a kid, he's young. And Nick, if you're watching this, seriously, 2012, honey, kick it in the pool and kick some serious goals.
I reckon that if you can hit that hard, mate, like they should have said was, you're still in the team. However, you're boxing.
What would 20 to 1 be without Paris Hilton? But tonight, we go where we've never gone before, the sex tape.
I love her. Thank God she's here, because it wouldn't be a 20 to 1 if Paris wasn't on it.
The trouble with the Paris Hilton sex tape, and I've looked at it closely, is it's not much good.
Oh, poor Paris. I mean, I bet if she knew everybody was going to watch her having sex, she would have put in a little bit of a better performance.
Clearly no thought had been put into it. You know, if you're going to do this stuff, do it right. I don't want it to look like I'm watching a scene from Predator through night vision.
Paris was humiliated when the footage appeared online. But the scandal just happened to coincide with the premiere of her first major TV project, The Simple Life.
There are people who think that that was the PR stunt. I cannot believe it. You couldn't be someone in her position wanting that to be everywhere.
Paris Hilton became a worldwide superstar because a tape of her having sex accidentally found its way onto the internet and turned Paris into the phenomenon that she is today. And absolutely, that tape was deliberately put out there.
I think it was like the latest Gucci handbag. She just had to have one of those sex tapes.
Although One Night in Paris was the highest-selling adult DVD of 2005, the Hollywood socialite still insists she was taken advantage of by her ex-boyfriend, Rick Salomon.
You're like obsessed. You always film me.
I can't pee. I love filming the puss.
It didn't harm her career in the end, and the girl's laughing all the way to the bank. Good on you, little Hilton.
Who would have thought One Night in Paris would cause all that fuss? Next up is a woman who definitely knows how to talk dirty, just not when to do it. At 18, it's the pop diva who's famous for her scandalous behavior, Madonna.
What are you going to do now? What are you going to do after the show?
Did you know that it's good if you pee in the shower?
Most talk show guests bring a movie clip to plug or a CD to push. When Madonna went on David Letterman's show, she brought her under.
Wait a minute, aren't you going to smell them?
I don't know where Madonna's reality begins and ends, you know, without taking anything away from her fabulous career, where she would go onto a television show and ask someone to smell her underpants.
That's not where they go.
No, believe me, that's where the underwear goes.
You just asked her to smell your undies. Ew. Ugh.
From here, things went south quickly when Madonna decided to turn the air blue by deliberately breaking the golden television rule.
Okay, good.
You are always me on the show. You are always me on the show. You are always with me on the show.
Madonna is not a class act, but she couldn't care less. For her, it's all about the fame, it's all about pushing the boundaries, and she achieved that.
There seems to be a lot of confusion right now.
Yeah, guess why?
Is it because I've been saying
You know, it was an extended fart joke. It was beneath her. She literally said the F word a dozen times in an interview, knowing full well you can't get it on television.
You know, she might have had a record out that wasn't doing so well, so it's like, okay, how can I get people talking about me? I know, I'll go on Letterman and say 13 times.
people don't want to hear the word.
Oh, stop it! Will you stop? Ladies and gentlemen, turn down your volume. Turn the volume down immediately. She can't be stopped.
How many interviews has Letterman done that people remember years later? Very, very few. Whereas Madonna's come on, sworn the house down, behaved appallingly, and she's remembered for it. Perfect.
We have to say goodbye now.
Why?
Because we have other guests.
Why?
Probably not anymore, but we...
Can't this just go on and on?
Oh, it seems like it has, doesn't it?
At number 17, we revisit one of the Aussie male's most cherished memories and replayed videos as the always beautiful and usually elegant Jennifer Hawkins struts her stuff. Jennifer's stiletto had snagged her skirt, showing that even Miss Universe can suffer an embarrassing wardrobe malfunction.
When you've got a bottom like that, if you've got it, flaunt it.
Loved it, can't see enough of it. Cannot see enough of that footage. Well, Jennifer Hawkins, of course, she lost her dress during the day, but that night she came on the footy show as a guest host. She was still a bit embarrassed when she came on the show, but, you know, during the breaks, Uncle Fat looked after her, and, you know, I had my arm around her a couple of times and said, you know, don't be embarrassed, you should be proud.
You went to a shopping centre today and something happened. There was a bit of drama. What happened?
Yeah, I was walking out in a Bora Bora dress and the bottom actually come off. So
of your dress?
Yeah.
You just fell off?
No, I'm serious, and it was so embarrassing, but just a pity I wasn't wearing better panties.
Well, I think that's every girl's nightmare, but if anyone was going to carry it off with style and dignity and a great pair of legs, I think it would be Jennifer Hawkins. They must breed them tough in Newcastle.
Still to come on 20 to 1, Celebrities Exposed.
She's not the first supermodel in the world to try a little bit of cocaine. People should just go out for back.
Show me her eating a big sandwich, then I'll be surprised.
All we really wanted to know was, did he help himself to a bed of rice?
Man, I'd kiss her.
And for selfish reasons, I wanted the sex.
I'm ashamed of that. That came out of my mouth.
Welcome back to 20 to 1, Celebrities Exposed. At number 16 on tonight's countdown is the supermodel who turned her nose up at drugs. Exposing the seamy side of celebrity at number 16, it's the skinny Kate Moss and her far from model behaviour.
She's not the first supermodel in the world to try a little bit of cocaine, and she certainly won't be the last.
Well, what's the Robin Williams line? Cocaine, God's way of telling you you've got too much money.
Cocaine. Kate Moss went from the catwalk to the doghouse when her face was splashed across the London tabloids after a camera phone snapped her and boyfriend Pete Doherty doing lines. And I don't mean the drawing kind.
Kate Moss snorting cocaine is no scandal. What did you expect a waif model to do? Show me her eating a big sandwich, then I'll be surprised.
The supermodel's supporters said she was not to be sniffed at.
Every time I've met her, she's been really lovely to me. And I think people should just get off her back because she's done nothing wrong.
She hasn't killed anybody. She's a human being, and I think it's really like a vendetta.
But the police said she may have to wear it.
If we have an allegation which is so visible to the public with a person who is such a role model, then it seems to me only appropriate the police service would investigate that.
Under pressure, Kate made a public apology.
She said, "I take full responsibility for my actions. I also accept there are various personal issues I need to address and have started taking the difficult yet necessary steps to resolve them."
But in the end, the drug scandal only put her career on a new high, increasing her pay packet along the way.
And they want you. We're back on top, hon. Don't call it a comeback.
Her career has just soared ever since. You know, you equate Kate Moss and bad behaviour, and that only sort of adds to her sort of credibility and certainly her value.
I like the way you move.
At number 15 is Olympic golden girl Stephanie Rice, whose turbulent love life was just as newsworthy as her amazing achievements in the pool.
The big news on the Olympic front this morning is the split of Australia's swimming golden couple, Stephanie Rice and Eamon Sullivan.
And although we all hope the couple would reunite, Stephanie set tongues wagging around the world when she allegedly kissed American swim star Michael Phelps in the Olympic Village.
All we really wanted to know was, did he help himself to a bed of rice?
Steph's beautiful. Why wouldn't you kiss her? And if you can get away with that, man, I'd kiss her.
The couple did nothing to dispel the rumours when they flirted together at a photo shoot.
And they were both kind of giggling. There was a little bit of touching going on, and you kind of knew something naughty had happened.
It was like two kids, you know, having a pash behind the shelter sheds.
They were just pursuing another sport, tonsil hockey. Don't know if they won a gold.
It sort of smelled almost of a PR exercise, didn't it? It just had that feel about it. I'm famous, you're famous, let's kiss.
For all we know, they're pretty bland and boring athletes that were looking to spice things up a little bit. Clearly, they didn't spice it up enough for each other, otherwise they would have remained together.
When Stephanie returned to Australia, she was quick to deny any romance with Phelps.
Did anything actually go on?
No, it was just really great to meet him. For me, Michael Phelps is a huge inspiration and someone I really look up to.
However, Phelps' status as a role model went up in smoke when he was caught doing laps of his billabong.
It's not unusual to be loved by anyone.
Fishing guru and AFL commentator Rex Hunt has admitted to paying for sex with 3 women, but he denies they were prostitutes.
At number 14, Melbourne radio reeled in a whopper when Rex Hunt went on air with his wife and admitted he'd been kissing more than just fish.
Ashamed, guilty, that I've let the most beautiful person in my life down. There's no excuse.
Rex had been getting his tackle out for 10 years without his wife's knowledge. But when a newspaper found the hook, Rex went public before they could reel him in.
They wanted the money, and for selfish reasons, I wanted the sex.
For somebody who's such a good communicator, I can't believe how badly Rex expressed himself.
I'm paying money. The girl's happy. She's got no money. I got my rocks off. Oh, how good is this? Everything's fine until you get found out.
Rex, mate, put your rod away, would you, son? Fair income.
Now, I've read a few stories in my life. I sat there with my mouth open.
I want my wife to forgive me.
I've chosen to stay, and he's not all bad.
To go into a radio station and be as open and as honest with his wife sitting next to him was a little bit, well, not a little bit, a lot surprising for me.
If I was caught out doing that, I can tell you what, I wouldn't have the cameras in my living room and I wouldn't go on the radio station. I'd just sort of basically hide under the bed and wait till it all hopefully would go away.
Some of us make mistakes. No excuses for reasons. And I thank you.
Could have been the whiskey, might have
Could have been a 3 or 4 6-packs, I don't know. But look at the mess I'm in.
After being pulled over for drink driving, Mel Gibson exposed a few raw nerves when he unleashed a tirade of anti-Semitic abuse at a police officer.
The sheriff's handwritten report quotes him as saying the Jews are responsible for all the wars in the world. And he asked the arresting officer, "Are you a Jew?"
My problem with Mel is not that he was drunk. My problem with Mel is that he was not nearly drunk enough. He blew a .12. That used to be considered legal. I could do open heart surgery on a guy at a .12. You want to be blowing a 2.0 before you start being an anti-Semite. That's my opinion.
At the police station, still angry, he said to a female sergeant, "What do you think you're looking at?" adding a reference to her breast.
Wow. Not a good choice of words for the young man to be saying to a police officer.
People make mistakes, don't they? And they do stupid things when they drink all the time.
But this was one mistake that would not be so easy to forget the next morning.
Many of the people who run the film industry here in Hollywood are Jewish, and they've been disgusted by what he said. So now he will find himself at their mercy.
I'm ashamed of that. That came out of my mouth, that I'm not that. That's not who I am, you know.
If he's not a bigot or an anti-Semite, where do those remarks come from? I think most people do not believe they come simply from too much liquor.
I think it's like the social lubrication. That's what alcohol is. And it's also a bit of a truth serum. And maybe some stuff's coming out there that he's been able to, you know, hide a little bit from the public.
There are more sinful celebrities after the break.
Look further afield, mate. Don't keep it in the family.
That makes me want to projectile vomit.
And he goes and bangs the ugly nanny. That is a little bit sick and twisted.
How stupid.
Grotesque. It's revolting.
Right?
Welcome back to 20 to 1 Celebrities Exposed. And just in case you've missed the show so far, here's a quick recap. At number 20, swimming's hothead Nick Darcy. At number 19, the less than demure Paris Hilton. At 18, Madonna's loose lips.
You are always...
At 17, Jennifer Hawkins flashes her assets. At 16, Kate Moss crosses the line. At 15, Olympic sweetheart Stephanie Rice and Michael Phelps. At number 14, Rex Hunt caught trawling.
I got my rocks off. Oh, how good is this?
At number 13, Mel Gibson and his drunken night out.
That's not who I am.
Now at number 12, it's the Hollywood director who loved his family. I mean, really loved his family. Filmmaker Woody Allen was keeping it well and truly in the family when he commenced an affair with the much younger Soon-Yi Previn. She was the adopted daughter of his long-term partner, Mia Farrow.
We are family. Woody, in a city of 10, 12 million people, look further afield, mate. Don't keep it in the family.
There's nothing right about that. That makes me want to projectile vomit.
62-year-old Woody Allen and Soon-Yi Previn, 35 years his junior. The couple who, in the eyes of many, were once father and daughter, are now man and wife.
She wasn't legally his adopted daughter. It's all a bit creepy and spooky the way it all happened, but, you know, there's certainly nothing illegal about it.
Poor Mia Farrow, the way she found out is finding naked pictures of her own daughter, because that's a shock. You look at this pictures of your kid naked, and then the double whammy, oh, by the way, they were taken by Dad.
There was nothing funny about the comedian's scandal, but the biggest blow was yet to come when Mia accused Woody of molesting their 7-year-old adopted daughter.
There has been an attempt to link my relationship with Soon-Yi with charges of child molestation. They're two completely different things.
The public slanging match didn't end there. Woody then claimed Mia was an unfit mother.
And I want to get the children free of that atmosphere.
I just want to say that that I will always stand by my children.
I don't want to know about his personal life at all because that is a little bit sick and twisted. That side is a little bit wrong. I'll just enjoy the movies.
The actor Jude Law has made a public apology to his fiancée, Sienna Miller, following a fling with a nanny.
Don't you wish your girlfriend was hot like me?
At At number 11, British actor Jude Law found a whole new job description for the hired help.
He's with Sienna Miller. Every woman thinks she's just too wonderful, I can't be her. And she's with Jude Law, who's the most gorgeous, smouldering Hollywood sex symbol, and he goes and bangs the ugly nanny.
Jude, what are you doing?
After his divorce from Sadie Frost in 2003, Jude wanted to keep active in his children's lives, but getting close to the nanny was not quite what fiancée Sienna had in mind.
Jude Law had a fairly clean-cut sort of image, and that's partly what his popularity was based on. The nanny scandal certainly changed all that. It ended his relationship with Sienna Miller, and suddenly there was a big call for nannies who looked like Mrs. Doubtfire.
I see girls here, there, and everywhere. Short skirts, long hair.
Didn't Tiger Woods marry his mate's nanny? She's a hot, like, Swedish chick. What kind of person hires a hot Swedish chick to be your nanny and live in your home, and you're, oh, I'm tired, honey, I'm going to bed, and your husband sits up? No.
For Jude, however, looks aren't everything.
I hate to say it, but the nanny does look a little skankalicious. Don't you think?
The royal family has had its public troubles, and it started in 1992 with the lip action of frisky Princess Fergie. While still married to Prince Andrew, Fergie and her financial advisor, John Bryan, were snapped in Saint-Tropez. The accountant was caught red-handed, fiddling the digits.
These are the photographs that Sarah Ferguson's financial advisor and the entire royal family hoped would never be published.
How stupid. As if you wouldn't know the paparazzi were hanging from every tree, peeping at you through every bush, with the curtains drawn. Go for broke. But out by the pool? Hello.
I mean, the fact that she was still married to Prince Andrew, I think, was the real point, because, you know, she was seen with another man, but the whole toe-sucking thing is just grotesque. It's revolting.
Probably not the sort of thing a duchess should be caught doing.
A right royal scandal followed, and her marriage ended soon after.
The prince has never wanted the separation. Now it seems certain to be formalised and hurried through.
Meanwhile, John Bryan hot-footed his way out of there.
Are you going to join the Duchess now?
Please, quickly, driver. Please just go.
I thought the toe-sucking thing was stupid. I mean, who really does that? It's not really an I love you as much as it's a dare. It's not I love you, it's I love you this much. Watch, I'll suck your toe.
Have you ever had your toe sucked? It's quite nice, and I think all power to you. Pity you got caught.
Still to come on 20 to 1, Celebrities Exposed.
Just think, nobody thought this would last.
They would have to have had sex. I just can't imagine going there at all.
You know, it's pretty sick.
I admit it was wrong.
What a jerk.
They want to know everything.
Hey, who hasn't been to a couple of hookers?
I have sinned against you, my Lord.
Welcome back to 20 to 1 as we shine a light into the lives of the rich and famous. And shocking us all is the king of pop who gave the idea of adults and children in the same bed a bad name. We've all had a long-term fascination with the bizarre life of Michael Jackson, beginning with the king of pop's marriage to Lisa Marie Presley, the daughter of the king of rock and roll, which made him the son-in-law of rock and roll.
The Lisa Marie Presley one gets me. That's when I realised, nah.
And just think, nobody thought this would last.
They would have to have had sex. Wouldn't they?
I'm not going to marry somebody for any reason other than the fact that I fall in love with them, period.
But yeah, it was funny when Lisa Marie came out and said that they had a marriage in every way. You only assume that meant sexually. I just can't imagine going there at all.
Jackson's second marriage wasn't any more successful than the first, nor was it any less controversial. Debbie Rowe was a nurse who gave Wacko 2 children before Michael told her to beat it.
He was probably spending more time with her than anybody else, given the amount of time he's clearly spent at the plastic surgeon's office.
I don't know if he's gay, I don't know if he's straight, I don't know if he's asexual, but I don't think any of those marriages were made in heaven.
But the most damaging scandal came from a friendship Jackson had with a 13-year-old boy.
He said that he had stayed overnight at Jackson's home many times and had slept in his bedroom.
There was one night I stood in there, I asked him if I could stay in his bedroom, and then he said, okay, if you love me, you can sleep on the bed.
The teenager later accused Jackson of molesting him. The resulting trial was a media circus, and the showman certainly didn't disappoint.
It's pretty full-on what was claimed with wacko, but then again, if it happened, it's, you know, it's pretty sick.
I honestly believe that he doesn't sleep with boys. I honestly believe that he just hasn't grown up.
The way he acts is definitely not normal. Either the skin change, the face change, the children, everything that goes with it. Obviously someone with a very messed up persona.
Two high-flying American newsreaders are themselves making headlines in a disturbing case of workplace spying. One of the anchors is facing jail for hacking into his co-host's personal emails. Both journalists are out of a job.
Found out at number 8 on tonight's list, former American newsreader Larry Mente's unethical investigations landed him in hot water.
Prosecutors describe Larry Mente as a man obsessed, hacking into co-anchor Alicia Lane's email accounts more than 500 times, from work, home, even on vacation.
What a jerk. I know the media business is competitive, but this guy is a true loony bin.
Newsreaders, they want to know everything.
Mente was jealous of his new co-anchor Alicia Lane, and he felt his job was being threatened.
Many of the intrusions took place just minutes apart, sometimes as many as a dozen times a day.
His suspicions were confirmed after he read a message in which Alicia bragged about her paycheck.
They found out she was making $100,000 a year more than he was.
Larry took revenge by leaking private details of Alicia's assault charges against a New York policeman, which resulted in her dismissal.
When agents asked him why he did it, sources say he told them he wanted her to go down.
I don't know who the goodies and the baddies are in this story. I just think these people are reading the news.
I suppose it's jealousy and envy gone wild.
In another bizarre twist, it was Larry who made the announcement live on air.
CBS 3 announced today that Alicia Lane has been released from her contract. Lane is facing a charge of assaulting a police officer in New York last month, a charge she categorically denies.
But in the end, it was Larry's sloppy snooping that caused his own career to unravel.
CBS 3 announced today that Larry Mente has been released from his contract effective immediately.
I admit it was wrong. I tell you the motivation. I make no excuses for my behavior.
You are a co-anchor. Say that fast. Co-anchor, co-anchor, co-anchor.
TV evangelism brings millions of Americans closer to God, but it also exposed the Reverend Jimmy Swaggart as being less than faithful.
When you make the wrong choice, you fall.
But the Reverend fell from grace when he was caught out and forced to confess to an affair with a prostitute.
Television preacher Jimmy Swaggart met today with church officials in Louisiana a day after tearfully confessing what he called his sins.
Just help yourself to my lips.
Hey, who hasn't been to a couple of hookers? At least he cried and said, I have sinned against you, my Lord.
I have sinned against you, my Lord. And I would ask that your precious blood would wash and cleanse every stain.
What made Swaggart's admission so scandalous, apart from the obvious, was his holier-than-thou attack on rival Jim Baker for similar adulterous behaviour.
Reverend Jimmy Swaggart had the nerve, I think, to call the Reverend Jimmy Baker a cancer on the body of Christ. Well, what a hypocrite he is, because just a few weeks later, he was caught red-handed leaving a brothel.
Jim Baker's response was suitably biblical.
Ye without sin
cast the first stone.
These were street hookers. Can you go to the yellow pages and under discreet whore and dial a number? 1-800-discreet whore?
He asked me if he could play with me while he played with himself for $10.
For $10?
Right.
When you see those people on television, you know it's an act. Give me a break. That's what they're doing. And the fact that he had another life and haunted dark lanes and whatever looking for cheap thrills did not surprise me one iota.
I have sinned against you.
Jimmy's tearful attempts to win back his congregation failed, and 3 years later he was back to his old tricks, caught with yet another working girl. Coming up next on 20 to 1.
This is a mess.
If I was David Hasselhoff, I think I'd drink heavily.
She's always been a loser.
They hate each other's guts.
It's a disgusting way to find out.
Can you please leave me alone?
I mean, she's a slob. Everybody knows it.
She really has been around the block a few times.
Got a great...
Welcome back to 20 to 1 Celebrities Exposed. And sloshing into place number 6 is one of the most recognizable faces in the world. And he's half his face. It was the drunken dad, the uncooperative hamburger, and the daughter with a camera.
This is a mess.
People love to pay out on the Hoff, but come on, he keeps giving everyone ammunition.
If I was David Hasselhoff, I think I'd drink heavily.
It was a long way to fall for Hasselhoff, one of the most famous faces on the planet. This sensational cameo appearance was made while he was working in Las Vegas and had his daughters for a weekend visit.
Dad, you need to promise me you're not going to get alcohol tonight, okay?
Just, that was so good. The demise of the Hoff.
You sort of live by the sword, you die by the sword. He's a very public person. He's very media savvy. He's at everything. He takes every media opportunity, and now it's the media that sort of got him in the end.
Tell me right now you're going to stop drinking.
I'll be fine.
Tell me you're going to stop drinking, or I'm not going to talk to you ever again.
It's bad enough for your own kids to see you in that state, but for the rest of the world to see it as well, it's really degrading.
Okay, like him or loathe him or don't watch these shows or don't watch. The fact he's a human being, and I think to be humiliated like that for the world's media to gawk at was shocking.
Tell me you're going to stop.
I'm going to stop.
Promise?
No.
Rosie's basically a loser.
He's at it again!
Well, Rosie's a loser. She's always been a loser.
There he is, hair looping going.
I mean, she's a slob. Everybody knows it.
At number 5, we eavesdrop on the very public slagging match between billionaire Donald Trump and talk show host Rosie O'Donnell.
How can I put this diplomatically? They hate each other's guts.
Rosie O'Donnell and Donald Trump. Not what you call nature's natural enemies. It's like putting a mongoose, and a tiger in the same room together. I mean, technically they should never meet, but they have.
Their fight was sparked by Trump's decision not to dethrone Miss USA winner Tara Conner, who tarnished her tiara with underage drinking and cocaine use.
Tara is going to be given a second chance.
And then she started to cry.
She did.
Going, I just want to thank Donald who's giving me a second chance.
It was brilliant.
And there he is, hair looping, going, everyone deserves a second chance.
First of all, I'm with Donald on that everyone deserves a second chance. Look, we're talking about Miss Universe. We're not talking about Miss Nobel Peace Prize winner. And, if she's had a few drinks and a bit of a big time, big deal.
Left the first wife, had an affair. Left the second wife, had an affair. Had kids both time, but he's the moral compass for 20-year-olds in America.
The show aired yesterday. Today, Trump demanded her sacking.
Well, if I were running The View, I'd fire Rosie. I mean, I'd look her right in that fat, ugly face of hers. I'd say, Rosie, you're fired.
She's unlikable. He's unlikable, if only for his bad hair choices and his strange ex-wife. Love it when two unlikable people fight. It's great.
Next up, 2 celebrities who should have got a room instead of a boat. At home in the land of exposed celebrity, and coming in at number 4, It's the scandalous affair between the heartbreaker and the home wrecker. Balthazar Getty and Sienna Miller.
Sienna Miller to me is a bit of a train wreck.
Well, Sienna's got more form than Makybe Diva. I mean, she really has been around the block a few times.
She was engaged to Jude Law, then I think dated Rhys Ifans. I mean, can we get a look at the guy? And then moved on to an arguably better looking man.
Sienna Miller's steamy affair, and much of her body, was exposed in June 2008 when the barely clad actress was photographed canoodling on a boat. Her co-canoodler, the married Balthazar Getty.
He's gorgeous, an heir to billions, and but that bit about the wife and the kids, 4 of them with a 10-month-old, kind of don't go there.
Yeah, I don't understand why on earth you do that when you've been through that pain yourself.
Unfortunately, blokes can't see past her boobs. So while everyone's going, oh my God, Balthazar, I'm imagining myself with her boobs.
After the highly publicised rendezvous, Balthazar announced that he was leaving his wife of 8 years, Rosetta, with whom he had 4 children.
I bet I can make it worth your while to stay.
Probably one of the most embarrassing and horrible ways to find out that your husband's cheating on you.
He should have told her. He should have rung her and gone, babe, cancel the paper this morning. We need to talk.
And a quote that came out the other day about her saying we'd split up was a quote they plucked out of thin air. It's bullshit. Leave her alone.
He has his wife's name tattooed on his heart. He can hardly go back to his wife and say, it's not what you think.
I've actually got my own name tattooed on my chest, and my address and a phone number. If lost, return to Sienna Miller.
After the break, we reveal our top 3 celebrities exposed. Welcome back to 20 to 1 Celebrities Exposed. Now we reach our top 3, and coming in at number 3 tonight is the actress and the director, and their unscripted use of their favourite word.
God damn it! You f***ed it up, God damn you! Now get straight on and help if you can't...
Screaming into number 3, it's lights, camera, and tantrum, as a Hollywood actress and her director go head-to-head during the filming of the box office flop, I Heart Huckabees.
You mother...
When actress Lily Tomlin voiced her displeasure at director David O. Russell's multiple takes, it took 2 years for the outtakes to hit the internet.
When you're on take 532, you obviously just get a little bit sick of it. But gee, she had a go at him, didn't she?
You.
Lily Tomlin spiralling out of control, but what I really love was Dustin Hoffman just very gently in the background.
Oh, shut up. You shut the up, too.
I will, but you're still there. Shoot the thing right now.
I saw I Love Huckabees, and I didn't understand it. So, Lily, I'm with you.
A week after Lily's outburst, the director had his say on set.
You're grown-up. Act like a grown-up. You're not a baby. You're grown-up. I'm here to help you.
I think that old, the actor is the star and we must do whatever the actor thinks would get very tiring for directors who have put their heart and soul into these movies, and I thought he gave her a good what for.
It always looks like a sketch because, he's yelling, he sort of sweeps all the stuff on the table, he leaves, you can hear him sort of going to other rooms, still yelling, and they're just sitting there going, he'll be back. Next thing you know, he bursts back through the door, he's like upturning chairs and whatnot. He's just a psychopath.
Why don't you the whole movie? Because that's what you're doing.
You can't trust camera guys not to put your private moments on national television.
Cruising in at number 2 is the mile-high hijinks between Hollywood actor Ralph Fiennes and flight attendant Lisa Robertson.
Normally it's either your wife or girlfriend or someone you've managed to meet on the plane. Old Ralph's just taken one of the hosties down.
And the press started going crook on Ralph Fiennes. You're kidding me. He's got a host, he says, come into the toilets with me. I was going to say, no, I don't want to do that. That was silly. Ralphie's straight there.
I say good luck to both of them. And it's a bit of fun, harmless fun, romp in the toilet on a plane, big deal.
Well, what else are you going to do between coffee, tea and milk and doing a crossword on a long flight?
Lisa's mid-air makeout got her employer's knickers in a twist.
Qantas today sacked the flight attendant at the centre of that mile-high scandal involving British actor Ralph Fiennes.
Of course she should be sacked. She should have been up and down the aisles with the trolley. And she was up and down someone else's aisle.
I was on my break. Can I make that point?
He's an international movie star. What about Philippine Airlines? They're beautiful. But nah, he cracks onto a Qantas chick. Ralph, is it Ralph? No, it's Rafe. No, whatever, mate.
But this chick was one with a past as a former undercover cop and prostitute.
Rafe, out of all the women on the plane, you chose the wrong girl.
Look, I might be a bit old-fashioned, but love-making belongs only in certain rooms. The bedroom, of course. Or, as tonight's number one will agree, the kitchen.
Big!
Fuck me. Oh, no. Your food is
Embroiling his way into tonight's number one spot, it's the celebrity chef.
Gordon Ramsay.
Allegedly exposed as a celebrity scoundrel.
Gordon Ramsay. Cheating to veg.
Can come and tell me.
It's like, what the are you doing?
Because I'll smash them over your head.
In late November 2008, the British newspaper News of the World published a story claiming Gordon Ramsay had been having a 7-year affair with Sarah Simons, a self-confessed professional mistress.
On the menu tonight, sausage surprise. Switch the television over, you.
I really believe that they never will leave the wife because really they're getting it all. They've got they've got the other woman and the wife, so he's getting the best out of two women.
Would you like a bun in the oven or just a knob of butter?
How popular would she be with all her friends? Let's not invite her to the next party. I really like my husband.
Gordon Ramsay has dished up an apology to his wife after admitting he did meet with his mistress at least 4 times.
Look, I met Gordon Ramsay 6 or 7 times and he never tried to crack on to me. So as far as I'm concerned, he's as straight as a die.
Fuck off, will you?
It's hard to believe these days in scandals because the media just create them, whether they're real or false.
However, while Sarah Simons allegedly got a taste for the celebrity chef's meat and 2 veg, it was his on-air charm with the Today Show's Lisa Wilkinson that got at least one irate husband offside.
I was watching Gordon Ramsay being interviewed by my wife on the Today Show.
They were saying that you'd had Botox. Has the US affected you like that?
Yeah, now, you're a smart girl, right? I saw you first thing this morning. Honestly, I got my 6 o'clock rise, straight up.
Don't look down, Lisa.
That's a sight for sad eyes in the morning, isn't it?
He was way too forward.
Fuck, I'm sorry.
Well, that's all for tonight's investigation of celebrity sins and secrets. Join us again next time for another adults-only 20 to 1.